Hi, welcome back to Let's Build, and today building a very limited edition Audi R8, the Green Hell. Green Hell referring to the Nürburgring, but also to this Tierman Green special paint that the car was available in. It came out in 2020, a similar time to the Decenium, which I have also built, so I'll link that for you if you prefer a less green version of your R8 perhaps. And it was a 611 horsepower V10, and the whole idea behind this car, limited to just 50 cars by the way, was to pay tribute to the R8 LMS GT car. And that had won quite a number of endurance championships in Germany. As we approach the workshop, a few things. There are a number of choices of wheel you can put on this car. I shall go through those in the build. I want to talk about the liveries while we build it specifically, and why I don't have a livery on this one. And finally, the colour. Now, whilst this is a crew colour, and obviously I'll be giving you the hex for it, and I think is the preferred colour because it's very distinctive, the car was also available in grey, white and black, so you can still build one even if you can't do crew colours. I recommend maxing out most of the performance, the bulletproof tyres, that sort of thing. I won't talk about those. I've gone for the carbon splitter here on the front bumper. I think it's a little overly large, but it's the nearest match I could find. And carbon mid-fins on the rear bumper helps to echo the diffuser that's on the real car, which isn't there on the stock bumper. I went for the carbon turbo exhausts. The reason is they're black and it sort of hides them away because I need dual exhausts, not quad, and there aren't any dual available, so let's just darken them up a bit. The primary vertical vent are the pieces here, and they're important on any of the builds of this car to be accurate, so that was the grille sorted out. Stock hood pretty much perfect. Lights are up to you. I've got xenon, but really I would rather put car meat on, and I will do next time it's there. The real car has quite a bit of matte black, especially on the roof at the back. There's a sort of striped checkered flag arrangement on the roof. There's some very lightly ghosted in numbers on the doors, and we just can't match this. As you see going through the different liveries, there's nothing here really that's going to do that. So your choices really are to echo it with something different. Maybe that Kisama one puts a bit of writing on the car, for example. Jackal Racing actually has some black at the back, but really it's just too much. Half camo is silly. So I think you can either go black stripes, which are not right. They're not right, but they reference the fact that the car is liveried with some black. Or you leave it alone. And for me, I couldn't take the black stripes all over the hood of the car when I know for a fact that they're not there. And so after much deliberation, no livery. We want the carbon mirrors on here. Plate is up to you. I normally go with the yellow on black if I want to hide it away a little bit. For the respray, the primary is of course the crew colour. I made up this colour myself by sampling, and I'm extremely pleased with how well it came out. So that is on here. As mentioned, you could also use grey, white and black if you wanted to, but really try and get this. Silver is the secondary, and that's really just for painting the brake calipers in the case of this car. We want an interior trim colour of black, and the green from the primary will carry through to the stitching, so it works really well. Gone none on the roof fins, and it's a stock roof. Moving on to the side panel, I've put it in carbon. And for the skirts, the carbon skirts, we don't want to go overboard with the skirts. They look about the right ones to me. If you go further on down, you get winglets and things that just don't exist on the real car. The carbon aftermarket spoiler is perfect, and from memory this is the R8 Plus spoiler that also went on the Decenium, could be wrong. The sport suspension looks to be just the right height, gives just that right gap between the wheel and the top of the arches. Moving on to the wheels, there's two primary parts of the wheel I want to match. Firstly is the approximate spoke arrangement. The second is the fact that the wheels are not just red, they're also very much black. So initially I picked these Mercy, the standard Mercy, because they don't paint all of the wheel. There's a lot of black. They're not bad, it's how I've been storing the car up till now, but I do think there's a lot of other viable choices. So I'm going through all the wheels in reality, but what you will see is all the boring bits sped up a lot. But anyway, first choice is the Mercy. Now choice 2 is the stock wheel, but we would have to paint them red, which I know you can do on PC. I can't talk about other platforms. We'll look at this at the end, but you can see the spokes are not a million miles off, and there is quite a bit of black on the wheel. So that is choice number 2. I say we'll do that later at Los Santos Customs. I should have mentioned all these are in the sport category, as is Synthetic Z, which is another choice for sort of matching the spoke arrangement, but there is no black on that wheel at all, so not that sure about Synthetic Z. The choice is the Obey RS. Again, they mix some black on the wheel with the red. The double spoke arrangement on each spoke sort of refers to the little side spokes that come off on the other car. I think Obey RS looks pretty decent. In the track category, we have the wheel called High 5, and this is not bad by having 5 sets of spokes. They do angle in a bit, but the little bits that ping off on the side do sort of reference the ones that ping off the side of this car. Now it doesn't have some black in, and that for me is the only weak point of the wheel. I think stylistically it's one of the closest ones that we actually have. In the high-end category, I'll give a nod to the Super G for mixing again the red and the black with a not dissimilar spoke design, but not that great, especially that pronounced central part. I went for blaze red for the wheel colour. It's just a slightly darker red, seemed to work very well. And a light smoke on the windows, although be aware even light smoke is a darker tint than the tint that's on the actual car. As promised, we need to look at painting the stock wheels. So let's nip over now to LSC and do that. I do have a separate video on this which I'll link below. There's been some discussion as to whether you can even do this on console or not, and as I don't own a console, I'm still actually not that sure. But anyway, we'll go in here and we'll run through the method again anyway. The method involves taking a nice cheap wheel that can be painted, painting it in your desired colour, then going back to the stock wheel. So that's what we'll do first. We'll go into muscle class and stock rims, and in there you'll find Classic 5 at only £3,500. Pop those on. Now once they're on, we paint them, I say, in our chosen colour. I'm already on the chosen colour, but I don't know if the method will work if I just leave it like this, so I'm going to back out anyway, select a different colour, just red, and then back to blaze red. Now back into any of the wheel type classes and select the stock rims. Once I've selected those, although they don't appear to be painted, we leave Los Santos Customs and we leave the game. Don't just change session, do what I've done here and go back to single player and then reload online. Just so happens I've reloaded at the agency, so let's nip out and have a look. Okay, the moment of truth, and I rather like these, you know. I like them very much, wish I'd tried it before. Now, I know the spokes aren't parallel like the real car, but firstly we get the red and the black. And secondly, of course, they are unique. They're one of the unique wheels in the game, and I'm a big fan of using these stock wheels if they look really good. They're something a bit different in your garage. So, you know, I may have shown you mercy at the start, but I'm going to keep it painted stock wheels at the end. Now, if you can't or don't want to paint stock wheels, of course I've shown you, 4 or 5 other wheels, so you can choose whichever one of those that you think works the best on this car. But overall, I'm very pleased with these. So I do hope you enjoyed the build of this car, and as I say, there's also the Decenium build that you can look back at as well if you want another build for it. Let me know down below if you like it, if you're going to build the car, and of course if you had any fun or enjoyment from this, please do click that like button. It's so easy for you, but it means so much to me. If you like real cars in GTA, making them and displaying them, then please do consider a subscription. That would be really fantastic. I forgot to mention, but this was a build request from Kevin, so thank you, Kevin. And if there's any build requests you guys have, please ask down below. I will get to them eventually. Now, unfortunately, I have to pull over and swap insurance details with that car, and I do think it was probably my fault. It's going to be a bit expensive. But while I sort that out, hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching.